In this episode, we are talking about how to level up in your web design business. Your website has to be absolutely, brilliantly representative of the work that you do. How to build your brand. Do not cold pitch that. It will not go down well. And most people will not only ignore it, they might block you as well. And how to make more money without trading time for money. But trust me, the more emails you send, the better you will become at it. You ready? Let's get started. Hi, I'm Holly Christie. I'm from Websites Made Simple. I am a website designer's mentor, and I am here to help you absolutely love your website design career. Because trust me, we've all had those times, whether you are starting out or whether you've been in this game for a long old time, where we've thought of chucking it all in and going and doing something else. I don't want you to do that. So, let's get started. The very first thing is your website has to be absolutely, brilliantly representative of the work that you do. And sometimes as web designers, we can think, oh, I really like to try this trend, or I've just seen that and I want to bring it to my own site. And I have seen web designers build and rebuild and rebrand and restyle their websites like you wouldn't believe. But actually, what you need to do is exactly what you do for your customers. You need to have a really strong brand presence. And that means doing it once and leaving it alone. There's sometimes we get branding that we work with and think, oh yeah, I really love this. And there's other times you think, I don't love this, but I like it enough to put my name to it, and I know that I can work with this. And you'll find that on my own websites. There's obviously the Websites Made Simple website, which I have specifically for website designers and developers who are looking for resources to have a better career. And I have my website, thisdemandinglife.com, which is for actually selling websites to the website clients as well. And you'll see that the branding is the same color across both websites. It's just used in a slightly different way as well, just have those different identities. And when I redid my branding a few years ago, I worked with a branding designer and I thought, I don't love the fonts. And, a couple of those colors I'm not completely wedded to, but I know I can work with this. And you will see all across my social media, whether it's Instagram, whether it's LinkedIn, whether you look at my web designer's contract pack or onboarding packs, or whatever it is, you will see that I use my branding really, really consistently. Personally, I love gradients, but gradients aren't part of my brand, so I don't have them on there. I like that kind of girly, swishy, kind of feminine vibe, but that doesn't work for the type of websites that I build for my clients, so I don't have it on my own website. So whilst building your personal brand, I am also going to recommend that you kind of don't make it too you, because sometimes when we try and do that, we can get a little bit lost in the nuance as well. So make sure your branding's strong. Make sure your website is representative of the websites that you build for other people. You need to be showing up consistently somewhere on social media. And you can have a look at the one that works best for you. For me, I find that's LinkedIn. I still have I'm going to say watered down Instagram presence. And I used to have a very strong Facebook presence, but as the years went on, I stopped getting customers from there. And so it felt that it had its day. So I do have my pages slightly active there, but I don't waste time there. Other web designers I know can have really strong presence on TikTok as well. Whatever works for you, go ahead and do it. But show up, be consistent, and try and show up in kind of more than one place. So as I say, I do LinkedIn, but I also show up on my podcast. I show up on my website by adding to the blog post. I make sure that I kind of spread my marketing around a little bit as well. So the next thing is to be strategic with your content as well. And this is a mistake I see lots of designers and developers do. They start to build a personal brand, but they don't have a real strong focus behind it. And so they put up lots of posts of like, this is me, or this is what I did this week, or this is how it worked. And they forget that they also need to be saying, this is what I do. Here are some websites I build. Or I sometimes see designers and developers go kind of head to head on LinkedIn, for example. And one will say absolutely one way of doing something is the right way. Someone else will take offense. And we can all go in the ring and we can all go in the arena. I'm generally not here to invalidate someone's opinion or someone's experience. I may say that's not my way of doing things. I may be a little bit more contentious, and you'll find in my podcast archives, you see some of my LinkedIn posts, I am not a fan of Elementor as a tool for website builders. And I will sometimes put that on my posts. I've made podcast episodes and it gets a lot of attention, and it's okay to have something that you will live and die by. There's an amazing website designer called Rachel Mess. I know her through LinkedIn. I've met her personally. She is all about accessibility, and yeah, that's the hill she's going to die on. That's what her websites are about. That's what her posts are about. You know, and her whole brand is, I really care about leveling the playing field for people through accessible websites. So do get known for having an opinion that is really important to you, one that you can really get behind, but don't invalidate other people's experiences while you do it. Make sure you mix up your content as well. We've talked a little bit about putting the content out there, but I think we need to remember that different people engage with stuff in different ways. Like, for example, I create video content, not all the time, and the videos are a little bit off the cuff, but I still do them. Personally, I find that video content really bores me, so I am not likely to engage very much with video content. I love carousels, though. I like flicking through carousels. If they're boring, I will kind of get off them, but that's a really good way of getting information across, and especially if it's slightly longer form content. So, for example, if I write a blog for my website, I will then take the key points from that blog and I will turn them into a carousel, and they usually get quite good engagement as well. Obviously from social channels as well, it works well because they see people spending longer time engaging with your content. I also like to put some slightly more personal stuff up there, and that could be an annual review or a monthly review. Throughout 2026, I'm aiming at doing a monthly review, which will be my personal and professional experience of what that month has done. So if you see I'm not doing it, you are welcome to get in touch with me at hello@websitesmadesimple.co.uk and say, why are you not doing this? But make sure that people get a real feel for your work and they get a real feel for you. Promote both equally. Answer the questions through your website that people are asking. So that could be, how much does a website cost? When can I expect to see a return on the investment of my website? What is the web design process? How to choose the right website designer? How to choose the right software? All those sorts of things are what people are putting into Google all of the time when they're looking at buying a website from a website designer. And as much as people will go on recommendations, they'll check out websites, they will ask Google, or they'll ask ChatGPT, and you want to make sure that your results are in there. And then if you're answering those questions and they're in your blog, you can turn them into the carousel. You can get them out there on your social channels as well. But trust me, that kind of evergreen content never gets old either. And when people contact me about a website, the first thing I will know about it is that they've booked a call with me through the button on my website, and it will drop into my inbox saying this person's booked a call. And I actually have an autoresponder on that. That means that when they do that, they get an email saying, really looking forward to us going on the call. In the meantime, here is some information you might like. And that will be a link to the different blog posts on my website, which says how to choose the right designer, how much would a website cost, how long does it take, what's the process like, so that by the time I go on the call with them, they already know roughly how much the quote's going to be, they know how long the process is, they know what they need, and they know what questions to ask me to be confident in choosing me as their designer. So usually by the time that they go on the call with me, 80% of the heavy lifting has been done through my website already. Leverage your network. And I'm not a huge fan of in-person networking. And especially if you followed me for a while, you will most likely know from my personal content that I am a single parent. And those 6 a.m. meetings are never going to be something that I'm going to make. And actually at 6 a.m., I don't want to be out meeting people, that's for sure. And that is where social media can really come into its own. And I go on so many web designers' profiles and they've got either an inactive LinkedIn profile or they have 300 connections or whatever it is. You can do better than that. And I'd really recommend LinkedIn because there's a lovely web design community on here as well. And it's easy to grow your network there by just being active and being on it and seeing what people are commenting on and going and putting your opinion in or helping with advice or putting up that post that you weren't quite sure about. But your network is going to be your key to the next steps of your business as well. And get to know people. Take the time to drop them a message, comment on their posts. I will often drop into someone in the messages and say, I see we're commenting on all of the same stuff. And I've built some really good relationships with people that way. And then it means when I think I would like to get to know some more people, I will ask people to go on webinars with me. And I'll just drop into their LinkedIn and I'll say to them, we're commenting on the same stuff. I would love to get to know you better. I'm thinking of running a webinar on whatever their topic of expertise is. Shall we join forces and do this? And most people are going to say yes. There's also the opportunity to ask people if you could speak on their podcast or whether you could speak in their membership group. Make sure you get to know them first. Do not cold pitch them. That will not go down well. And most people will not only ignore it, they might block you as well. So it might be a bit reputation damaging. But it is, if you build a relationship with someone and you think, I'd like to get in front of their audience as well, it's absolutely okay to do that. And I have people contact me quite regularly. They ask me to go on their podcast. They ask if I can come and speak in their membership groups. And they ask me to go on webinars with them. And I'm relatively discerning. I don't say yes to everything. But I really enjoy meeting new people and I enjoy sharing different parts of the industry and stuff. So never be afraid to do that, to leverage your network this year. Get known for being really good at one or two things. And this ties in a little bit with saying about make sure your website is really kind of demonstrating your knowledge in that area as well. But get really well known for it. Like I am really well known for service brochure style websites. And back in the day, I used to do shop sites. And, to be honest, if I had a good business buddy who wanted to add a shop to their website, I would go and help them. But it's not my real area of expertise. My area of expertise is user journeys. It's how to really showcase services. It's how to get more clicks on those websites, how to get that website to a point that people go on it and think, yes, this is absolutely what I was expecting the website of this person to be. I'm loving the consistency. I'm going to engage with them. And then, once people have made that engagement through the website, they are much more likely to go on to use you as well. So I'm really well known for that. The other thing I am really well known for is talking web designers and web developers down from the ceiling when something's not quite worked out. And again, this can be a real benefit of networking and leveraging your network. A couple of times a week, I will have web designers drop into my LinkedIn and say to me, I'm feeling really wrong-footed. I've delivered a website and entirely to the client's specification. And we've gone all the way through. We're ready to publish. And the clients had to wobble around it and said that they're not sure that it's good enough. They want a second opinion. Or they might come to me and say, I'm feeling nervous. I've got someone's website content. The content's not good enough. They're not prepared to change the content or be guided. And I'm not sure what to do with the design or something like that. And so I will always kind of get them on Zoom, or they'll send me the link and I'll run a video and we will work through it together as well. And people know that they can jump on a crisis call with me anytime. And I'm really happy that that's what people know me for. That is part of the whole Websites Made Simple. And they only need to come to me a couple of times. with these sorts of things to then realise that actually they now have the tools for handling it as well. I do also have a weekly group mentoring call that I do that web designers can come on each week as well, and they can bring that sort of thing as well and learn from each other on that. Too, it's called Sparks Group Mentoring, and if that's something that sounds good to you, go to websitesmadesimple.co.uk and you can check it out for yourself. It's open to all people who work in the website space. So whether you're a designer, a developer, an SEO or a copywriter, you are welcome there. If you're a website designer or developer who's looking to strengthen your community, get expert advice and not have it take up all your time, I've got the solution for you. My Sparks program is a weekly group mentoring call for people working directly in the web design space, where you'll get advice, support, and collaborate with other designers. We meet each week for an hour and you'll come away with reassurance, knowledge, and the next steps for your business. Check out the Sparks Group Mentoring at websitesmadesimple.co.uk. So I couldn't be on a podcast without saying, start a podcast, because podcasting is such a good way of demonstrating your expertise as well. And it's a really good platform because you can use it without being distracted. Like you put something in a LinkedIn feed or something like that, and generally it's gone within a couple of hours and you're looking at other people's stuff. And yeah, there's so much noise on social media. But if you have a podcast, you've got your own podcast channel, and you can have this really linear experience of how you want to share your knowledge, your expertise, and your experience, and the experience you want your clients to have of you as well. So I absolutely recommend that for 2026, podcasting is something that you look into. And if that is something you're going to look into, I actually have a blog post called What I Learned from a Year in Podcasting, and it's on my This Demanding Life site, so I will link it in the show notes as well. I really recommend that you read that before you start a podcast. Trust me on this one. And I really, really, really recommend my absolutely brilliant podcasting producer, Neal Valio. He is from Podknows Podcasting. He is brilliant. He knows how to work with web designers, and check him out. Yeah, he will put the links in the notes because I will ask him very nicely too. Leverage your email list. And this is something that, website designers and developers aren't really known for their kind of prowess when it comes to writing and emails and templates and all that sort of stuff. But trust me, the more emails you send, the better you will become at it. And actually, one of my friends, Lisa York, she has an email writing, a course called Email Blockbuster 101, and I can send you the links for that as well. And that is a real game changer about how to write emails that are curiosity-based, that are engaging, but most importantly, gets people clicking through, engaging with you, buying your products and services and stuff like that. And having the discipline of emailing your list every week or every fortnight will really make a difference. And even if you only have, a few subscribers, set yourself a challenge that every week you will put out a post inviting people to subscribe to your email list, and every week you will send an email. And whether you're just sending it to 3 people to begin with, it doesn't matter. Just get in the habit of it, because more business is done through email lists than all the other places put together. So seriously, do that. And finally, as I'm recording this at the beginning of 2026, get started with this stuff. I mean, so often we think, I will do this after I finish this website, or, next week. It's that mañana thing. No. If you want to have a much better year than you have ever had, if you want to make more money, you want to build your brand, you want to grow your business, and you want to do that without being, low-value websites and more time into it, put these steps into practice now. I promise you, the end of this year will look completely different to the beginning of this year for you. So get started. Let me know how you get on. You can join my email list. Go to websitesmadesimple.co.uk /email. I would love to see you on it. I email my list every single week and let you know what's going on in the world of web design, what's going on in my life, and also let you know when I'm opening the doors to my programs and, what's available for you then and there. So until next time, happy web designing.